so they're not able to relate to a question or responses adequately. And therefore, we get the impression of less ability. And of course, we have some students who were completely lost in the classroom either because they have a poor language skill or because they got emotionally hurt and because their heart's closed and their mind is closed. Yeah, they got
also,
lost.
they have some social problem.
Oh, yes. Yes, of course. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And also, so we had this problem. So they have a multiple intelligence. So how we can balance between different intelligence?
Oh, no. Okay, let me explain that. I've researched a lot into intelligence, and I've written certain books about this. First of all, this is a myth. First of all, we do not inherit a quality of intelligence. We inherit schemas that enable us to devise a way of interacting with the environment. We don't have intelligence. If you open anybody's brain, there is no compartment there for intelligence. Intelligence is only a word that we've devised to try to evaluate the different skills that people use when we compare them together. There is no intelligence in here. We just learn how to relate to the world about us, and we use our behavior and emotion to do that, or rest and security, emotional content. So this idea of multiple intelligence is, first of all, it's an interesting discussion for psychology. It's got no relevance at all in the classroom, not at all. The only thing we need to do is to help children to learn the 3 R's, reading, writing, arithmetic. And this is what's essential. Because if we can, if you, even at day 1 when the kids enter school, they're already at different levels. There's some being given very great assistance. Oh, my friend, Iman.
Hi. Iman, how are you?
Iman. Hello, boss.
I was having some technical issue.
Okay. Yeah, but we were just talking.
Go ahead, Mr. Roy.
We were just talking. As I said, when I went to Australia, many teachers said to me, have you heard of Mr. Gardner's 9 intelligences? And really, this is a good idea, but they don't work in the school system. All we evaluate a student upon is how well they've remembered information and how well they're able to express their mind, which is language. So this is involving mnemonic strategies, how to remember things, and we use different codes and strategies for doing that. And then the presentation, how well you can explain your mind. And this is based upon the language skills. So how well the student has learned to spell a word, the rules for spelling a word, how they've learned the rules for grammar, verb, adjective, preposition, things like that. And then how they're able to tell the story, which is really how they were raised by their family, essentially by the mother and father, to be able to
explore, also explain and also use it. For example, there are a lot of students, they have a good marks, 18, 17, but they can't use it in the real life.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
This is a big question. For example, now I don't care about the marks, but how we can explore it, how can the students, for example, share their knowledge, how they can be more creative in the real life.
Well, yeah, but we have to kind of understand how school works. You see, when children enter school, they are very creative. They are ingeniouses, they are Einsteins, almost every single child. And school stops this. School tells them to sit still, to follow the rules, not to think, not to move, not to talk, to behave like a robot. Pick the pen up when you're told, write when you're told, put the pen down, and it kills this creativity. So then children lose their confidence. Then they get frightened. They don't know what to do and what not to do. It kills the creativity. So school is nothing about this. School is only to produce the kind of next citizen worker, the manager and the managed, and that's never changed for 150 years. And as I explain in my writings, we desperately need to change this now, because we need to create a citizen who's more adaptable in their intelligence, more flexible, higher reasoning skills, and greater patience and tolerance. Yeah.
and also more responsible
Absolutely. Yes, of course.
and a
Of course.
leader. So now I start to think how to balance between a lot of subjects, how you can use the business and mathematics for having a student more creative and being an entrepreneur and the future.
Well, what I try to say is we need to teach children how to reason. We need a subject in the curriculum how to reason better. And of course, school doesn't do that because society doesn't want the general citizen to think too much. The purpose of school is to produce the manager or the managed. And the general society doesn't want the citizen to think too much. They're just to follow the platitudes of politicians. But this is an old ideonic principle that will have no place in the 21st, certainly the 22nd century, when our children will be competing on a daily basis for the survival against artificial intelligence. We have to give the children high reasoning skills and high language skills. And to do that, we have to incorporate some way, like you're talking about, of giving them confidence to be creative.
Confidence and also show them that failure is not the end of the world. Because they have some students who they have some issues, so they must how to can grow up, even if they have some failure.
Yeah. You know, I actually say that my personal story is that when I was a child in school, I failed everything. You know, I left school at 17, failed every single examination, every single one, failed all the school exams. And when I was 20, I went back to school. And what really changed my life was my maths teacher. First of all, he explained everything from zero. I mean, when I was 20, I didn't know what a fraction was. But he explained in a very simple, kind, gentle way all this fractions and things and numbers. But very often he would come up to me and he would say, you can do this. And you know, there's just a few little words, very occasionally, you can do this. Changed my life because I thought, wow, if this clever man said, I can do it, then I can. And that really was the big change in my life, this belief of self-confidence to try. And this is another problem because children don't have stamina now to engage a problem. They give up because they don't believe they can do it.
So in this case, we must to learn to teach the student how to resolve the problem, and secondly, we must work with them about critical thinking.
Yeah, very true.
Very true. For example, one day, so I give my student, I draw some triangle, and I didn't ask them. So after that, even every student, they can resolve the problem as they said that, but they don't know the objective or the purpose. So after that, they start to understand. Before starting anything, they must understand and having a purpose or target.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. So I've devised a teacher training program, which you're welcome to look at if you go to my website, which is, Imran can tell you about it. It's Andersen Roy, and I just started now, and I got 15 teachers from 15 different countries. And we're trying to bring back the idea of attitude, sensitivity into the learning process.
Yeah, and also now we start to talk about using ARC. We start to talk more than STEM, and we use it art also. So we start to use art and STEM as a curriculum.
Yeah, this is very good for developing confidence. Yeah, it's very, very true. Very true. But
and also, even if, for example, we teach mathematics, they must do some presentation and for showing us how they can express themselves, how they can explain.
Yeah, brother. I mean, this is very important. But at the end of the day, what happens is is that the marks that the child or the student gets when they leave school really depends upon the job they can get and the opportunities they can get in life. And that comes down to nothing what we're talking about here. It's just memorizing information and learning to present your mind in a way that the system acknowledges your ability.
Yeah, and I start to like the education system and Finland. They start to using mind mapping is very important. How you can understand, and after that, how you can explain. You start to work on imagination.
You know, when I meet parents, I tell them it's very important to tell stories every night. I mean, I tell stories to both my children until they were all, you know, like 14 years old, from almost a couple of months old. And the biggest problem that we've got right now is smartphones. It's really a very serious problem to our civilization. Because, you know, the kids get, well, I mean, this is a air conditioner, but you know what I mean, to the smartphone, is that they get addicted to it, and then they lose language skills, because the only purpose in their life is press a button and get an electronic response, flashing light, and you know, they're addicted to it. This is a very big problem, and of course then well, there's a whole host of problems that arise. You know, then they don't have the experience of talking with others. So when somebody's got a problem, they're not interested. And when they've got a problem, they don't have the language skills and experience to be able to explain it. So they get frustrated and they get angry. Really, but these smartphones are a very serious problem to our civilization. Yeah. Seriously. Really, really.
Yeah, and you talk about reading. In Morocco, we have this problem. We don't have this habit to read. So there are not a lot of people who they read. Even if we read, we don't have this kind of analyze. We don't read between the lines. So for having why this person write this at this moment, how we can improve it, how you can, for example, why they use this. And we don't have this kind of the power of question.
There was a man called Matthew Lipman. He died, unfortunately, a couple of years ago. He's a professor in America. And he wrote some books called Pixie, the Pixie series. And they're very, very good reading books for children to develop questions and thoughts about. They're designed in that purpose to develop, you know, reasoning and language skills. They're called Pixie. They're very good to look at. You know, but you raise a very good point. And, you know, we always hear that Finnish schools, Finland is the best in the world. But I don't believe it is. I lived in Denmark for 10 years, and we did a research into the schools in Scandinavia. And we didn't find that Finnish schools are not really any different than schools in Denmark, Sweden, and Norway. What is different is that when the mother in Finland has a baby, immediately she gets a big box from the government with stories books on how to read stories to read. So the Finnish mother is reading stories to the infant on a daily basis, developing language skills, vocabulary, relating to different scenarios, and building up a way of relating to the world in different fashions and being able to express their thoughts. Whereas in other Scandinavia, that doesn't happen. The mother gives them a kid a smartphone when they're 3 years old and puts them in front of a TV. So it's really language. That's what it is about.
So
whereabouts are you in Morocco?
So in Morocco, so we have some issue in education system, because now we don't know if we must teach in French. So it's a big. So and we have some school public sector, and we have mission. The mission they start to use the tools of another country. For example, there are American school, Academy School, George Washington. They use the tools of USA, and also I have this experience to know what is the difference between Moroccan system and American system and France system. There are huge difference.
Okay. Okay.
So, for example, in USA, they prepare students to be entrepreneur. And also, if we look at the books and mathematics, they use STEM. And even if the students have just 15 years or 13 years, they have this kind of target, what I can do in 10 years or something. So they prepare them and they work with them about personality. French is more about literature,
Okay.
about
Okay.
theater, about Morocco. So we are more the education system of France. So for me, so I start to balance between Moroccan and American education system.
Hello.
Yeah,
Hello.
did you hear me?
Hello.
Hello, did you hear me, Roy?
Yes, yes, you can. Yes, we
Yeah,
can
and
hear you.
also what? Maybe because
No,
we
I'm
are,
sorry. The signal.
Roy, did you hear me?
I'm sorry,
Yes, you
brother.
go
No,
ahead.
I lost the signal. Can you say that again, please?
So I said that in Morocco we have some issues in education system because now we don't know if we will teach science in Arabic or French or English. So
Okay.
I think we will start to teach science and French, and we are more about education system of France.
Okay.
We
Okay.
follow
Okay.
education system of France.
Okay. But in all senses, what we wait a minute. Just I got to try to find. Okay. Oh dear. These are. I've just typed here for you. Oh yeah. Okay. These are the two contacts I have in Morocco. Can you see that? Can you see the names? Mrs. Boshir, Orchia. Can you see that?
Hussein?
I've just put on on the chat board two people that I know in Morocco. Can you see the
Yeah,
chat board? Okay. These are the two contacts I have. Mrs. Boshir works in a university, and Lahos, I actually met with Imran, and these are two people that I have in Morocco contacts.
yeah,
But you know, well, the problem really is that when one country adopts an educational policy from another country, they're also adopting the political design of that country. Countries sell their political designs through education. So when you buy a French design or certainly an American one, you're also buying the politics behind it, which is designed to give your own country different political basis. So it's really important you develop your own rather than adopting somebody else's. This is very, very important. And also because then if you do that, then you're basing your education on the cultural design of your children. So therefore, it'll be easier for them to understand the educational process. And please, remember what we've said. All these ideas, whatever they come on for about different designs and whatever, it just basically comes down to the simple fact that the teacher can explain to the child, this is how you spell a word, this is where a verb is, and tell me the best story you can. Now, please remember, geography, history, remember these factors and put them together in a story. That's all education comes down to. All the rest is just sales.
okay. So for me, I like more Anglophone education system because, in my opinion, they work more about the personality.
Okay, 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 okay.
I don't know what you think because you have more experience than me and you do some research as you told me
Well,
that you.
yeah. I just 1 second. I'll show you.
Mr. Murad, how are you, sir?
Good, alhamdulillah. What about you?
Alhamdulillah. I'm very grateful to you and your team. And so, right, you people started, unfortunately, started session, but the webinar series, I'm totally new to the type of webinar. Like on another Zoom, we did so many activity, but to expose to a large number of community this type of seminar, this is my first experience. So I started, but
Yes.
unfortunately due to technical, I was unable to. And so many friends of mine also they are unable to join due to the technical issue. But we will try to resolve it. So
Yeah.
I have one question to continue the discussion. Like we heard about the education system of Finland and about especially Singapore and other countries.
Yeah. Yeah.
We heard that they are trying to remove the examination system, and they are trying to put their children on more activities rather than to be followed by the curriculum, etc., etc. So in
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia, we have three type of schooling over here. One is American diploma schools. Those and mostly we have grade up to grade 12. The schools are offering from the nursery to grade 12. So that schools which are following the American curriculum, American diploma set curriculum, their students are totally you can say under the supervision of the school management. Like the school management decide curriculum for them, and it is more activity based and test and quizzes, and they are not they do not follow any external exam, no board and no other. And
Yeah.
one another group of schools, they are following British curriculum like
Yes.
IGCSE, which is in some countries it's called O level, and in UK it's called GCSE. So that schools they are up to middle. They are preparing their local examination, the local whatever the system gave by the schools. But after grade 8, they are appearing the students in Cambridge University
Yes.
for O level for IGCSE. So
Uh,
that schools the students are more organized in what I observed, more organized because they are appearing in external examination. Okay, but the
yes.
American curriculum diplomas, the students because they are totally the control is in the school management, and so they are little bit relaxed than rather than another students. My question
Yeah.
is that what is your personal observation, like which type of schooling is more successful in the world? Because the students are the schools which are following the American curriculum, they have their own school of thought. They have they according to them, they said that it's correct that the students are not bound and not conscious about the examination. Okay, but they are learning so many tasks and doing activities, so their
Yes.
learning exposure is more than another students who are bound by the board or the external situation. So what is
Yeah.
your as an educationist, what is your personal observation?
So I noticed the same thing because if we notice that the rank of the best education system, we find it is Anglophone. Also, so in USA and for example Finland, Denmark, Sweden, they focus more about activities. not just subjects of math or science or something, but how we can balance between a lot of subjects, and how we can develop our personality, develop the personality of the students.
It's a common problem.
Yeah, and
Common.
also because before I work in public, I did some extra courses for some students who they study for mission, French mission. So it's focused more about the subjects math or something. And when we observe the student, there are a huge difference the between a French mission and American. French mission, they focus about how you can calculate, for example, 1 + 1 = 2. But American, they say maybe we can use that for having a more account. We can improve our employability. We can do this and this. So they are a real situation.
You know, when I hear this, brother, you know, my concern, my deep concern, is to help children to understand what's happening, which is, of course, yours too. And when I go into a class, I'm always really searching for children who are struggling to understand, and then finding some way, first of all, to give them confidence to believe in themselves, and then through that confidence to help them to reconstruct what they've done so far, so they can keep up with the rest of the class.
Yeah.
But you know, so I just want to tell you, and I know Imran will allow me just to talk a little bit about my books very quickly, if I may, because it's very new.
Yes, sure.
This is the first book here. Thank you. It's called The Illusion of Education. And in this book, we explain that how school works, and a global, so all these are global senses, how school works, and the fact that school is not designed to teach children how to reason and how to think. It processes them on the skills they develop. And in this book, I begin to mention the problem that our children are going to have when they become citizens facing artificial intelligence, which is we mentioned before. Now, the biggest problem that I see in school is two factors. First of all, it's the behavior of the students, getting them all to be quiet, listen down, and behave, and then to help them to want to work, to want to study, and to inspire them to do that. And of course, when you notice students of different ability, then the teacher thinks, well, this child can't really understand, so I can't give him very much time. He's just born like this. And this is the biggest problem we have in education, is ready acceptance to the thought ability of the student. So I studied genetics, and Imran knows, and I read this book. Now, this book is the first book which proves why intelligence is not genetically inherited. And it has huge meanings throughout the whole social and educational structure. Certainly, of course, in countries like America, where they try to explain that some people who have a different skin color to white people are genetically less able, and they incorporate programs and so forth to create disadvantages. It's very wrong. Then if we don't inherit intelligence, what do we inherit? Sorry, if we don't inherit intelligence, what do we actually inherit that enables us to be cognitive, to be able to relate to the world about us? So I wrote this book, and I studied neurology like that. And here I explain really how the brain does develop, and how certain, there are kinds of different brain designs that, we have a genetic plan, and that taken over by an environmental. But then it all comes down to sensitivity. And this is what the whole factor is.
Meditation?
And I try to, mediation. Mediation.
Okay.
So really it's about how, first of all, on a one-to-one basis, how you create this relationship of trust with the learner so that they like you, so they feel chemically relaxed and happy with you. And then through this relationship, you can open up a kind of a fascination and a trust to help them to feel that they can do this work that they want to do it, and you can give them the steps to do that. But of course, I try to do that with one teacher for 40 kids, because that's the reality of the situation. And that's the training course that I've mentioned, and perhaps Imran and I can make some more about that. Preparing a new world education really goes into the very, very disturbing world that our children could possibly live in, with artificial intelligence taking over, nanotechnology, really replacing the human being. And of course, if global warming does continue, we'll have a lot of social problems with people, migrations of people. And we're not preparing our children for that kind of world. We're not giving them, as you mentioned, the skills of tolerance and patience that they will need to live under that very stressful environment. And if we don't give them that, then it means that the authorities must impose restrictions on them, freedom of movement, and so the end of democracy, in order to maintain some kind of stability. Then I wrote this book, 5 Ways for Better Grades, which is just 5 ideas for students to get better. But my friend, this book is the beauty. It's lovely. Memoirs of a Happy Teacher. And that's available as an ebook.
I have this book.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
I have you sent it to me before.
Maybe you can change the word teacher as mentor.
Yeah, well.
Because before, so the system, the education system changed. Before we talk about teacher, but now because we talk about self-confidence, about critical thinking, about leadership, so the role than teacher is more as a mentor, in my opinion now.
Yeah,
yes, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. But at the same time,
I would suggest, Mr. Murad, that you can organize one, you can say online, no problem. For Morocco teachers, we want one session from Roy Anderson, because Alhamdulillah we have friendship with Roy Anderson from 4 or 5 years, and Alhamdulillah he sent me his books from UK, and then he sent me these books. I really impressed when I read these books, his books. Now, mashallah, he added some new features also. I think your books having now online also available, in soft copy also it's available. Some of your books. Am I right?
Yeah, Imran, I kind of rewrote the second half of this book, and I made it as an ebook, because I wanted, so everybody can read it. It's very cheap.
Yeah, I read this book. Really, I like it, because Roy Anderson explained everything in the form of stories. Okay, like when you start reading these books, especially this book, okay, you can keep yourself in imagination that you are sitting in the same area, in the same class. Okay, you are thinking like this, and you are as a teacher, you are feeling the same feelings what he explained, because he wrote these books on the basis of his experience, because mashallah he has a lot of experience. He's traveling worldwide, and he's when you see Roy Anderson's journey, he always traveling in the mountains, in the forest, in the natural places. So these places he gave him a natural exposure to the real feelings. Okay, what the nature is about, and what type of psychological feelings of the teacher. So we are glad that personality like Roy Anderson is with us in our platform. So we must take benefit from his experience. He is a genius man, and I really appreciate. And he always served the community. Thank you very much, Roy Anderson, for your wonderful research.
Thank you so much, Roy. I confirm.
All right, brother. Okay. Well, I tell you what, I'll give you a free gift. I'll give you the book for free. If you write to me, if you tell me your email address, I'll give you the book for free.
Okay, thank you so much. I will send you my email.
Okay. Imran, did I?
And also, I think it's very important also to teach students how to think outside of the box. It's very interesting.
Yes, of course it is. Yeah, of course. But then again, but the reality of the problem, brother, is that the teacher is bound by the principle, by the system, that they've got a lesson time of 45 minutes and they've got to teach them gravity, or they've got to teach them what Napoleon Bonaparte did or whatever. They don't have time. And we have to change the system in such a way that they do have time. And one of the ways I wish you to join this teacher training program, because I could really help you to understand this. First of all, you've got to change the classroom design. You've got to really change the classroom design. Like, I'll show you. Okay. I mean, if you look at this, I can't see it here. I mean, this is a kind of a normal situation. You've got the kids in the front. They're very close. They're emotionally connected. They are held by this emotional content. The kids at the back, they can't really see. And this distance really does make a difference to their ability to interact. And so I think, if you go to my Facebook, Imran, I'll send you that post about the classroom design, because it really changes the whole situation over. I don't really have a picture.
And also we start to talk about design thinking of education, because before we talked about design thinking just for a business, and now we start to talk about it and also in school and education.
Yeah. When you're in a class, may I suggest that I don't have. Is there any way you can see my screen? Can I share screen on here? Yeah, I can.
Yeah, I think yes.
You can click on the green button down.
Okay. All right, brother. Let me just find the picture first of all. I don't know where it is. Oh, yeah. Okay, it'll be there. Hold on. If we do that. Wait a minute. Let me just pick. Let me search here. I'll show you what I mean.
Because you talk about class, what do you think about the future class? If we need to go to school, or we can just study at home online?
Oh, that's this is a very good issue that you've raised, and a very serious one. In America, they have this idea of kids learning at home. It's a disaster. 60% of kids don't qualify in the examinations because it only works if the mother's sitting by them. If the mother's not there, they're playing computer games. But also, and very importantly, they're not developing a social relationship. And this is what we've got to prepare them for, to be a future citizen where they know how to relate to other human beings. And they can't do that if they're sitting at home talking to a computer. We really need to bring the human teacher into it and avoid this idea of kids learning outside the classroom. Wait a minute. I'm just trying. Actually, Imran, I can give a talk about flipped learning, which is a very, very interesting concept about teaching. Just trying to find a picture. Just bear with me, please, a moment. I got thousands of pictures here. Trying to find something. Oops. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, got it. Okay, going to try to share the screen now. Okay, you cannot share screen while the other. You cannot start screen sharing while the other participant is sharing. Oh, okay. Somebody is sharing a screen. could you please switch off so that I can show you this picture? How's that? No. You cannot start screen share while the other participant is sharing. I don't know what that means. Is anybody sharing the screen? Because this system won't allow me to show you. Okay. Okay. I don't know how that works. Could I ask you just to switch off, Imran and Mazad, could I ask you just to switch off your screens for a moment, please, so that you can see mine, if that works? Okay. Okay, fine. Oh, where are we going now? Oh my gosh. Oh, there we go. Okay, can you see the picture of the desks?
Now, yes.
Okay, okay. So this is in Kashmir, and we had very many children in the class. So many kids, you could not actually move. And what we did, I'll show you, if I can show you what happened here. Sorry, excuse the pictures. Interestingly enough, every school I went to, there were children who were severely emotionally traumatized because of the political situation in their country. These kids couldn't learn. They were crying in their eyes, you know. They just wanted security. It's a very serious problem. Actually, this is how I like to teach. Everybody's sitting on the floor, you know. I'm trying to. Okay. What we did here was that we changed the rows of desks in such a way that the teacher can actually move through all the desks. So the teacher can actually reach every single student in the class. And what they're able to do then they're close enough to read the eyes of the student. And then you can read the eyes, then you know if you're on track. If the student's dead or boring or lost, confused, then the teacher instantly recognizes it, and then they can teach in a different way. So this was the traditional rows of desks here. And as you realize, the only people you can help are on the front row. After the front row, they're lost. You know, you can't reach them. When we changed it around like this, then the teacher could move around and help every single student. And as I explained to you before, and for the gentleman who's just joined us, hello, brother.
Life.
School is not Khalid, hello, Khalid.
Hello. Hello, sir.
Hello. Assalamu alaikum, my brother.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Khalid, where are you from, please?
Khalid, how are you? Good. How are you? Welcome in the forum. Oh, good. Thank you very much for allowing me to watch this conference or such meetings with you. عندك سماعات. It's our pleasure. It's our pleasure. We have Roy Anderson. We have from UK. Murad from Morocco. Sorry, the voice is not clear. We have Arjozi Murad from Morocco. Roy Anderson from UK. Oh, welcome.
Khalid, salam alaikum. What country are you from, please, brother? What country?
I am from Jordan.
Okay.
Jordan.
Okay, welcome. Okay. I have not been to Jordan. I traveled, but I haven't.
Nice to meet you, Khalid. Sir Khalid.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you very much. I am from Jordan, and I have been to a lot of international conferences like this. Actually, I have been a Fulbright scholar in 2007.
Yeah.
2008, yeah. So
which city? Which city did you go? Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Which city did you go?
You mean in the United States?
Yes.
I have been working in Georgetown University, in George Washington University, as a linguistic consultant, and in CAL, Center for Applied Linguistics, which works
That's very
under the umbrella of Georgetown University
that's
and
wonderful.
Washington University. I went to Nashville, went to Florida, went to a lot of like linguistics and teaching programs. Yeah,
MashaAllah, mashallah.
okay. Yes, go ahead.
So, Ryan, you may continue after when you will give chance to Sir Khalid.
Seems
Imran,
to
I
be,
didn't hear what
yeah. Go ahead. It seems to be a technical problem with the voice. Okay, go ahead.
Roy Anderson, you complete your session.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Pardon me.
Okay. Gentlemen, can you see the classroom on my screen?
Yeah. Now,
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah, we can see.
Let me just try to find a simpler one. I can explain this to you. Ah, here we go. So
The
this
sound-
is in,
it's okay now. The sound is okay with me.
okay.
Okay.
Now this is in Nepal, Kathmandu, and of course here you see the traditional rows of desks. You know, the children are. This is a traditional classroom, and the problem here.
Yeah.
There's a great deal of problems here. First of all, as I explained, this encourages the teacher just to broadcast information. And these beautiful words are falling down and different children are picking them up. But the children are not related to the teacher. They are living in their own world, absorbing in a very passive sense. And so what we need to do is to change it so the teacher can interact with every student when they need that help. And so here you see, I always use this classroom. Now here, the teacher moves about, and it's more exciting and more interesting. The teacher is not allowed to sit down because it's dead and boring.
Yeah.
They be on there, and they've got to reach the children. And in this way, as they zoom and zigzag around, they're keeping it alive. And this keeps the children motivated, they're active. Now, when the teacher is going through the lesson, they're doing it on a question and answer, so that no children are left behind because they're working through questions. They are evolving their own understanding through the lesson by questions and answer, and so that they are not. No information is stale to them. And as I explained at the very beginning, and Khalid, I would just explain this again if I may. Schools have got nothing to do with intelligence. School works very simply on language skills. We evaluate a student's competence by how well they've remembered information, which is mnemonic strategies. You know, ideas to remember things, either you just repeat it or you think of something funny or whatever to remember information. And then how you present your mind. This is what the teacher does. So when the teacher's evaluating a response, they see how well has the students spelt the words, how well have they composed a sentence correctly, you know, verb, adjective, things like that, and how well have they presented their story, how well have they been able to explain their mind, which is language, nothing to do with intelligence. And language is based on emotion. So if the children are bored, frightened, bullied, disinterested, they switch off. So their ability is less. They interact less, poorer quality. They can't associate to previous information. And they don't know how to explain their minds. So they get low marks. But if the teacher can inspire them with a story, and I always begin a lesson with this, a story content, then you're bringing them personally involved in the subject matter. And then by the different strategies, you can help them to develop. Now, in this situation, so the teacher gives them an assignment. And every child writes, you know, their idea about the lesson. Now here, the teacher can move around every single one say, oh, you need a full stop here, or this is the wrong word, or you need a comma here, or this is not a very good introduction. This is the way to change language skills. You know, the way it works at the moment is that the teacher gives information. They ask the children to do an assignment or a homework. They collect these papers, they go to the staff room, and they sit down and they mark them, and they write on these, you know, do this, do that, very good, see me next time, whatever. And they give these back to the students. It makes no difference.
Yeah.
The kids aren't interested. All they want to see is if I got less red marks than the kid next to me, or if I got more, if I get a higher mark. That's all. The hours that the teacher's been writing these comments is gone, zero, no interest at all. You've got to catch their mind while they're making that mistake, and then you can alter it. And you can do that with this classroom. Sorry, this was in Oman here. Excuse me. Okay. Yeah, you said...
right. I have just a question here, if possible. So what do you think about education system in China? For example, they start to give students, for example, 15 minutes to do some presentation, and the teacher observe them in the camera. After that, they come back to class. After that, they correct the mistakes of a student. What do you think about this strategy?
I think it's good if we are sensitive. If this feedback is done in a way that gives the child moral support, it's constructive. It's very good. But if on the other hand, it's used in a negative way, for example, you know, oh, you didn't do that right, ha ha ha, or you know, any sense of stress.
Not that, but as I told you, that the role of the teacher is the mentor. So after this failure, they can just correct them, and they say them it's not a problem. We can do that, that, and that. Because, as you said, you must develop the self-confidence. So I think it's very important that we must be friendly with the students and show them what is wrong, what is good.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Okay. My time is really up now, gentlemen. I've got things to do, but it's been a delight talking to you. And I'm always very happy for Imran. You look like a king there, my brother, with that background. You look like a throne. It looks very good. Okay.
So, thank you very much, Roy Anderson, for your wonderful session today. You enlightened us with your rich experience. You almost travel different continents, and you observe advanced countries schooling also, because you are living there in UK. And I know your daughter is a scientist in Australia, so you almost traveled to Australia also. And in the remote countries like other Asian countries, you already traveling. So over to Khalid Al-Jawazni. I'm really sorry if I misspelled. So first of all, I would like to thank you join us. I took your contacts from one of my friend, Ashad Ali. He is a university lecturer. I think you are also in the same university in New Zealand.
Yeah, the same. Yeah, I know Arshad. He is my friend. Yeah,
yeah.
He's my colleague.
Arshad Ali is my friends also, and he's you can say in Islamabad we work together, and Alhamdulillah he's a good person. So yeah. That's the reason I approach you, and I'm really appreciate that you joined us. So would you like to share your experience, because I think you are teaching in the university. So what is the university students like? What do you think? Like in the schooling, we know that we are introducing technologies and activities and everything. But the university students, they are more mature and they are near to their to jump to their future. So they are more advanced. What as a lecturer, as a professor, what is your thinking that how you can like what type of technology you prefer in your university students?
Okay. Actually, here in Jordan, in my country, English is considered to be a foreign language. So teaching English here has a lot of like obstacles and a lot of like problems because students do not live in the same environment that the language is used. So they speak Arabic most of the time outside the class, and inside the class they do their best actually to use English as a foreign language. But yeah, here there are a lot of reasons. I don't need to mention or to list here that make students are not very motivated with the language. Uh, but in these years, in the recent years, there is some development. Even it is slow and it's not that big development, but there is a change actually happening. Technology is not. um I don't found it very helpful for the students in the classroom, inside the classroom, because the time of the classroom is very limited. So there is um, some material to cover for the students, for the teachers, or to some time for the participation. And most of the time, the classes do not exceed just like 1 hour. Technology is used by the students in their homes, and they use it on their mobile phones. So it makes some progress, and it is reflected on in their behaviors in the classroom and in their participation. So, um, but in general, English is not like the English which is used in Pakistan or in India, because I met a lot of Indian people in America and in New Zealand, a lot of Pakistani people, and actually they are lucky. Maybe the English is more widely used or officially used in the country than in Jordan, in my country, because most of the students depend on personal efforts to be good or motivated to the language. Hopefully, some change is going to happen in the future, and I think progress is coming, and that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Khalid. I have
You're
one
welcome.
question regarding your conversation. I have so many friends here in Saudi Arabia. They are from Jordan. Okay,
Yeah.
some of my colleagues and I have been like they are in my circle. Okay, what I observe, they have excellent accent. Like not only few, almost all of them,
Uh-huh.
they're speaking conversation. So what I mean to say that there is some special categories of the schooling. There maybe some of the people having exposure to that school or that institutions, which is building good accent, and some of the remote area. Like in every country, there
Uh-huh.
are different schooling or institutions. So, what is your experience about this?
Yeah. Good question. Jordan is not considered to be the best in English. Even it's not. I'm not very convinced with this, but I think it is the best in Arabic also, because I have experience in teaching Arabic in the United States, and I have an experience with the sounds and how they are produced, and this is a part also of my study. In Jordan, people say all the sounds of Arabic, and when you come back, when you want to evaluate something like which is more closest to the Fusha Arabic, the classic Arabic. Some studies say it's Jordanian Arabic, as I know, because this is also reflected on English, because they can say all the sounds, and they easily, they can say all the sounds of English without a big problem, with a lot of mistakes, because when you receive a language or a foreign language, you have to make mistakes, because it can't be exactly produced as the native speakers do it. So I think this is the reason, because they are fluent in Arabic. They can also be fluent in English, and languages do not work in an opposite way. They work in the same path, the same direction. All languages go in the same direction. So this was people used to say, or scholars used to say, that one language can influence another language. One language can replace another language. Which all of these studies are proved to be false, to be nonsense. All languages work in the same directions. So in the way that people eat or hear or see, they speak also. That's it. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, I second your thought. So, Mr. Murad, do you have any question from Mr. Khalid? Because Mr. Khalid is so busy, so maybe we will try to catch him time to time. But today we take the opportunity.
Yeah. So I'm so glad to meet these guys. So it's very helpful to share ideas with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Roy Anderson, you have any question?
To Khalid?
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, my brother. Yes, I'd like again, if you. I want to screen with you. Can everybody see my screen? Khalid?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Actually, it's a good way to talk about a little bit about myself without interruption your class, or without taking your time. So, but I didn't hear the last point. Sorry, because maybe there is a technical problem with the sound. Maybe I don't know. Did you ask something, or did you say something?
Yes. Yes, I ask if all three of you can see my computer screen. Can you see the lady with the orange hijab?
Yeah,
we can see her. Yeah.
Okay. Now, when I was in Japan, I lived in Japan for 9 years, and I was a lecturer in the medical university. And I had 130 students in my class, and I had to find some way to help them to get better, to be more competent with English, because all that was happening was that they were just reading books and not living the language. They weren't using it. So I would take the students out into the corridor, and I would line them up in 2 rows, row A and row B, so that one student was facing another one all down the line. And then row A would ask a question by, it's 7 o'clock, situated with that. And it was getting this dialogue that was really fun for them. And it brought, but just watch this. This was in Kashmir, live to them. They had no confidence. I just watch this for only for a second, like this.
What's your favorite color? Favorite color, green. Favorite game, badminton. And you? Badminton also.
Now, what I want to show, now they'd never done this before, so they were very shy. But here, they were sharing their mind about it, and they were getting confidence in using the language. And I use this principle with every subject, mathematics, history, chemistry, whatever. We learn about the subject, then I get the students up, and the students are asking to the questions about what they learn. And gentlemen, I just wanted to show you that as an example of something.
Mm-hmm.
But Khalid, I'm also sending this book freely to our friend in Morocco. If you'd like a copy, I'll send you one too.
Yeah, I would be happy. Yeah, thank you. Yes.
Would you like?
Yeah.
I'll send it
Yeah,
to you.
yeah.
It's
Yeah. I would like a copy. Thank you very much. This is very kind of you.
it's you're welcome, brother. But can you give?
Yeah, I sent you my email.
Yeah.
You can type here. You can type here, no problem. You can type here and you can exchange the email.
You,
This
my
is an
email.
international forum. This is an international forum. Enjoy the freedom.
I get.
I didn't hear what you say, but would you like? I understand you want the email or the mail address.
No, your email address. Your email address.
Yeah.
You can type in the chat. You can type in the chat so everyone will get it.
Okay. Yeah. It is.
Roy Anderson, sir, you can write your email, your website.
Yes, I sent
Inshallah, we will prepare contacts and we will exchange we will exchange all the details of our friend, inshallah, with all.
Inshallah.
And Mr. Khalid, we expect some new ideas from you all. We recently started such type of webinar. We did a lot of like activities, but such a big level, like you can say, in which participants from across the world. This is our first experience, so we would like to take you on board for more improvement. You can suggest us how we can improve this more. Roy Anderson is with us from 4 years, alhamdulillah, and he's suggesting us new ideas. And Murad sir is also part of our team now. You are also a part of our family. So this is a joint venture. We will learn from each other and we will add some new suggestions.
Khalid, I don't see your email address. I can't see your email address.
Yeah, it is KM Joza. I will type it again with my name.
Okay.
Yeah, this is for with my name. Have you got it?
No, brother, I don't see it on the chat. On the Zoom chat group.
But
let me copy and paste here.
But I see your email. I see your email. So I will write you an email. Okay.
Okay.
I will write you an email.
I paste. Roy Anderson, you can see.
I see Murad email.
Yeah,
I copy and paste. all.
Yes, I'll send it in Gmail, and then you can get it. Maybe there is a problem with the download of Zoom. I don't know, but I will check it
Or
later. And this is
or
why.
Khalid,
Okay, go ahead.
you can just send the email for Roy, and they can have your email.
Yeah. Okay, I'm sending it. Your email is m.ar.josie@gmail.
No, I talk about Roy because he didn't check your email. So I said that you can send the email for Roy for having your email if he didn't check your.
I'm trying. Okay. Go ahead if you have discussion, a question while I sending the email. Uh, at Gmail, yes. Maybe you get it. Okay. I will try. Maybe you didn't get. I will try another time. I don't know. Maybe I try to send it from my mobile phone. Are you getting something?
Yeah, hi.
Yeah.
I can,
Okay.
Khalid, I can hear you, but I can't.
Uh-huh. Now,
I don't.
I think you must, Roy, you must check conversation.
conversation. Yeah. Now you get the email, which is after hi.
I've got. I'm looking at the chat screen, and
Uh-huh. Has
No,
anybody?
even I posted on the chat. Is it not visible to everyone?
Yeah, I
oh,
can.
Roy, it's okay now?
yeah, I've got it. So no, wait a minute. Oh,
Okay, now I'm sending it from Gmail. Because Gmail took time to be opened. Now just open Gmail. Uh, so
okay, I got it.
where to send it to Roy or to?
His email is roy
If
at
if you send it to
andersonroy.com.
me, then I can.
Roy Anderson. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Roy at andersonroy.com.
Uh-huh. I'm just copying it, because opening I thought opening Gmail it's easier from mobile phone, but I think I'm opening it from here. Actually, my son is studying in high school and use the computer, so he just opened his Gmail. So I need to switch the users. Okay. Uh-huh. Okay.
It's KM, Joza. Is that you, brother?
Yeah,
Is that
yeah,
you?
yeah, yeah. This is my my Gmail, yeah, my email.
Okay. So I'll send you the book with my compliments. And I have to go now. I've got a meeting, but I would like to thank Iman for this wonderful occasion. Great guy. We've
Okay.
been working together for 4 years, nearly 5 years. And he does a lot to help people around the world. Please excuse me, I really need to go. But it was a
Okay.
delight to engage your and experiences with all people.
Okay, I sent you an email also on Gmail.
Okay.
Yeah.
It hasn't come
Okay.
through yet.
Thank you so much, guys, brother, for your. It was very helpful.
Yeah, inshallah. Tomorrow we have some other professors and teachers. So this is an open invitation for all of you, especially if Khalid can join us tomorrow again. It's convenient because every person have their own schedule. So we are not going to anyone, but it is a good opportunity if some of our friends come, because one of my friends, Professor Zahir Shah, he is university lecturer in universities. He wants to do some research technology with us. Okay, so I especially invited him. He is good friend of mine and one of my colleagues also is. So some other teachers also, they want to participate, because that's why we kept this program for 3 days. Okay, so anyone can join at his convenience. Okay, anytime if you want to join us, it will be. So, and hopefully we will continue this program monthwise. Like every month, we will decide some days with mutual, especially Mr. Khalid, Roy Anderson, Murad. We are the main stakeholder. We will negotiate with some new ideas, and then we will inshallah plan according to our convenience.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, thank you so much, all, and thank you for inviting me and allowing me to participate and to attend such sessions and meetings with you. I am very happy to be with you and to share any ideas with you, and it's a good opportunity actually to share ideas about teaching, and ideas about teaching are endless. They do not have an end. So if we share
Yep.
something and we agree on something, that would be great.
Yeah, and also our teacher and also student.
Yeah, yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
We have a lot of people, alhamdulillah. They are from different continents. They are trying to, but you are facing a technical issue today. Even I joined late. I on the platform, but I wanted to this program now going live post on our Facebook also. So lot of people in the community are watching us, alhamdulillah, and they are right. So in a way, we can share our knowledge with other, and people from different continents. They are trainers, professors, lecturers. They sent me the request that they want to join. So inshallah, we will try to invite them, and you can also those who your friends and family members, those who are interested to participate and share their ideas. They are welcome, because this is an open platform, and everyone are welcome to share their idea. Yes, sir. Right.
Okay.
Just one point before I go, and I really must go. Khalid, many people ask me, how can they be better in English? And I say to them, please watch British movies from 1940 and 1950. After 1960, the quality changes. 1940, 1950, it's very good English. It's very clear, very well pronounced. After 1960, they get dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
So, and
Yeah.
you're talking in your, don't
And
do
also
too.
practice with everyone. So I am just a mathematics teacher, but I start to talk just in English every day, even if with my students.
So, guys, thank you very much. I think we have to conclude because I know you are.
I'm sorry to.
Roy Anderson.
I'm sorry. Bye bye.
Sorry.
Bye bye. Thank you
can
so much.
continue, sir.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much once again.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Good night.
Night.
Best of luck.